Okay, so this time we focus on security technology, no, intrusion detection and prevention systems, and other security tools. Intrusion detection and prevention system, or IDPS, are vital components of modern cybersecurity defenses because they monitor network and system activities for malicious action or policy violation, and it can respond to detected intrusion. IDPS technologies provide an additional layer of defense by identifying and mitigating threats in real time, enhance an organization ability to protect its asset. And to give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter. Okay.
Hi, I'm Paul Christian Kalinga from BSIT Executive Class Batch 16. My presentation is the second part of the security technology topic, which is information security, intrusion detection and prevention systems, and other security tools. So the goal of my presentation is for us to identify and describe the categories and operating models of intrusion detection and prevention systems. Second is to define and describe honeypots, honeynets, and padded cell systems. Next, we'll list down and define the major categories of scanning and analysis tools and describe the specific tools used within each of these categories. And lastly, we will explain the various methods of access control, including the use of biometrics access mechanisms. Let's start with IDS and IPS. IDS stands for Intrusion Detection Systems, while IPS means Intrusion Prevention Systems. Now, both are crucial components of network security, but they serve different purposes and operate in distinct ways. The main function of an IDS is to monitor network traffic or system activities for known threats and suspicious activities. When such activities are detected, the IDS generates alerts to notify administrators. So we can look at it like a CCTV installed in key areas of the building. So in terms of purpose, its main purpose is to detect. It monitors network or system activities for malicious attacks or policy violations and generate alerts. In terms of operation, it's passive because the IDS operates passively, meaning it monitors traffic and activities without interfering with them. So in terms of response, it alerts because when suspicious activities is detected, the IDS generates alerts for administrators to review and take action. And in terms of placement, it's typically deployed out of band, monitoring traffic through network taps or span ports. Now, when it comes to IPS, its main function is not only to detect suspicious activities, but also to take immediate action to prevent or block these activities from causing harm to the network or maybe the system. So if the IDS is like the CCTV, then the IPS is like the security guard in the lobby of the building, because its main purpose is to detect and actively prevent malicious activities by blocking or mitigating them in real time. So in operation mode, it's active because IPS operates inline, meaning it can directly interact with the network traffic to block or allow specific activities. So in terms of response, it blocks because when suspicious activities is detected, the IPS can block traffic, terminate connections, or take other preventive measures. In terms of placement, it's typically deployed inline with the network traffic inspecting packets as they pass through. Now that we know the difference between an IDS and an IPS, let's talk about the categories of intrusion detection and prevention systems. So we have two categories. We have one based on detection methodology, and number two, it's based on deployment model. Under detection methodology, we have signature-based detection. So it uses a predefined signature or patterns of known threats to detect malicious activities. It's very effective at detecting known threats with low false positives, but it's ineffective against new or unknown threats, or also known as the zero-day attacks. The second one is anomaly-based detection. So it establishes a baseline of normal activity and detects deviations from the norm. So it can detect new or unknown threats, but it's prone to false positives as unusual but benign behavior can trigger alerts. The third one is hybrid detection. It combines both signature-based and anomaly-based methods to improve detection accuracy. So this provides a balanced approach, leveraging the strengths of both methodologies. But it's also more complex to implement and manage. Next one, we have behavior-based detection. So this is focuses on the behavior of users or systems looking for unusual actions that may indicate a threat. So this can detect insider threats or advanced persistent threats or APTs, but it requires sophisticated analysis and can generate false positives. So under the deployment model, we have the network-based IDPS or NIDPS. It monitors network traffic for signs of intrusions. It's typically deployed at strategic points such as a network perimeter or critical network segments. So this can monitor a wide range of device and traffic. It's very effective for detecting network-based attacks. But the downside is it may not detect attacks on encrypted traffic or internal threats within a host system. The second one, under deployment model, we have the host-based IDPS or HIDPS. So this monitors the characteristics and activities of individual host systems or devices. So it can detect local attacks that might bypass network-based systems. It provides detailed host-specific information. But the downside is it's resource intensive and it may not scale well in large environments. It's limited to the specific host that's being monitored. The third one, we have wireless IDPS or WIDPS. So this WIDPS monitors wireless network traffic and protocols to detect intrusion or policy violations within the wireless network. So it's very essential for securing wireless communications because it can detect rogue access points and unauthorized devices. But the downside, because it can be very complex to configure and manage due to the dynamic value or the nature of wireless environments. And the last one, we have application-based IDPS or AIDPS. So this AIDPS monitors and analyzes the behavior of specific application. So it's application based because it provides in-depth security for critical applications. So this can detect application layer attacks. But the downside of AIDPS, since it's application specific, which means it requires detailed knowledge of the application that's being monitored. So now let's talk about models or the operating models of intrusion detection and prevention systems. So we have 5 models here. So we have detection, prevention, inline, out of band, and distributed mode. So for detection, it's also called the passive mode because the system detects potential intrusions and generates alerts or logs without taking any direct action to prevent them. The good thing about this, because it's easier to implement and less likely to disrupt legitimate activities, it's very suitable for environments where immediate responses is not critical. But the downside is it does not prevent attacks. It relies on subsequent human intervention for response. So for the second one, prevention or active mode, so the system not only detects intrusions, but also takes proactive measures to block or mitigate them in real time. So the good thing about this mode is this can stop attacks before they cause damage. It provides immediate responses to threats. But the risk of false positives leading to legitimate activities being blocked because it requires careful tuning and management. So for the third one, we have inline mode, which is in which the IDPS is deployed directly in the path of network traffic. It allows it to inspect and potentially block traffic in real time. So this one's very effective at preventing malicious traffic from entering the network and can enforce security policies directly. But the downside is this can introduce latency and become a single point of failure if not properly managed. So the next one is out of band or also a passive mode because the IDPS monitors a copy of the traffic. So it's typically using a network tap or span port and generates alerts based on its analysis. So this one does not affect network performance or become a point of failure. So it's easier to deploy and manage. But this cannot block or prevent attacks directly. It relies on subsequent response actions. So the last one is distributed mode because this utilizes an IDPS sensors distributed across various network segments or hosts. It's coordinated by a central management system. So the good thing about this is it provides comprehensive coverage and centralized management. It can correlate data from multiple sources for better detection accuracy. But the downside is it's more complex and more expensive to deploy and manage. And it requires effective coordination and communication between the sensors. So as you can see, the categories and operating models are different. So organizations choose the appropriate solutions tailored to their specific security needs and operational environments. But you have to take note that there are a lot of security companies out there that offer one solution for all. So this is called the next generation firewall, or NGFW, and the UTM systems, or Unified Threat Management Systems. So this includes both the IDS and IPS functionality, such as using signatures to identify known attacks and looking for anomalies and protocol deviations in the packet flow. So the configuration model provides options for the administrator to utilize the device in prevent or detect mode. The administrator has options to deploy an inline IPS or detection only with sensors strategically placed to passively monitor network traffic. So this next generation IDS or IPS have evolved in response to advanced targeted threats that can evade first generation IDS or IPS. Now let's move on to the next topic. We also have other cybersecurity tools designed to detect, deflect, and analyze unauthorized access and attacks. Here, we have honeypots, honeynets, and padded cell systems. Each serves a unique role in a defense security strategy. The first one is honeypots. A honeypot is a decoy system or network resource designed to attract cyber attackers and study their behaviors. So it stimulates a real system to deceive attackers into interacting with it, allowing security professionals to monitor and analyze their activities without risking actual production systems. A honeypot could be a virtual server, a network device, a network port, or maybe a web server which is designed to give the impression of an active device. Next, we have honeynets. Honeynet is an advanced version of a honeypot consisting of a network of honeypots designed to simulate an entire network environment. It includes multiple interconnected honeypots that provide a broader and more realistic simulation of an organization's network. So it presents a more convincing and intricate target for attackers. And the last one we have is padded cell systems. A padded cell system is a secure and controlled environment that simulates real systems but is isolated and monitored. So when an intruder is detected in the real system, they are seamlessly transferred to the padded cell where they can be observed without the risk of actual production systems. So padded cell systems are typically custom built as part of an organization's security infrastructure and are not as widely available as the off-the-shelf products. So you might be asking, what's the difference between a padded cell system and a honeypot or honeynet? So padded cell systems are similar to honeypots that they are designed to lure in attackers. It's a tightened honeypot that works with a traditional IDPS. However, instead of tracking or monitoring attackers, padded cell systems are designed to contain them. Also, padded cell systems are often used in conjunction with honeypots to provide a two-pronged approach to security. Each of these tools plays a crucial role in understanding and defending against cyber threats. These are very useful for businesses seeking to identify and pursue attackers more aggressively. By deploying these tools, businesses can gain a better understanding of who is targeting their systems and why, and take the steps to mitigate the risk posed by these attackers. Scanning and analysis tools are critical for identifying vulnerabilities and ensuring network security. These tools provide detailed insights into potential weaknesses and help maintain the integrity of the systems. So we have here the major categories of scanning and analysis tools. So the first on our list is vulnerability scanners. So the main function of a vulnerability scanner is to identify security weaknesses in systems and networks. So some examples we have here: Nexus, OpenVAS, and QualisGuard, which is now called the Enterprise TrueRisk Platform. Second one, we have a network scanner. It can map network devices and services, and it can identify open ports and services. So some examples are Nmap and the Angry IP scanner. Next one, we have the port scanner. So this one can identify open ports on a network device, like the Nmap and Netcat. We also have the web application scanner, which is used to identify vulnerabilities in web applications like the OWASP, ZAP, the Burp Suite, and the Acunetics. Then we have the database scanners, which detects vulnerabilities and misconfigurations in database systems. So some tools that are popular now are SQLmap and DBProtect. Next, we have file integrity monitoring tools like Tripwire and OSEC. So these monitor and detect changes to critical system files. Then we also have malware scanners like Malwarebytes, ClamAV, of course the popular Kaspersky, Avast, and Bitdefender. So these scanners detects and removes malicious software. And finally, we have the log analysis tools. Its main function is to analyze log files to identify security incidents. So we have tools like Splunk, Logarithm, and LSAC.
So access control is an essential element of security and determines who is allowed to access certain data, apps, and resources, and in what circumstance. It is a fundamental concept of security that minimizes the risk to the business or organization.
There are two types of access control. We have physical and logical. Physical access control limits access to campuses, buildings, rooms, and physical IT assets. Logical access control limits connections to computer network, system files, and data. So why is access control important? The goal of access control is to minimize the security risk of unauthorized access to physical and logical systems. Access control is a fundamental component of security compliance programs that ensures security technology and access control policies are in place to protect confidential information, such as customer data. Most organizations have infrastructure and procedures that limit access to networks, computer systems, applications, file and sensitive data such as personally identifiable information and intellectual property. So we have several methods of access control. The first one is MAC, or mandatory access control. So in this control method, the central authority defines access policies based on security labels. So it's a high level of security with strict control, but it has less flexibility and complex to manage. The second one is role-based access control, or RBAC. So these access rights are assigned based on organizational roles. So it's simplified management, it's very scalable, but the initial setup can be complex and it requires role maintenance. The next one is DAC, or discretionary access control. So access permissions here are determined by the resource owner. So it has flexibility but owner control, but it's also less secure and potential for improper access settings. Then we also have the rule-based access control. So this access based on the predefined rules. It has dynamic control and very adaptable, but can become complex with many rules. Then we also have ABAC, which is attribute-based access control. This is where access decisions is based on attributes like the user, resource, environment. So it's fine-grained control and it's very flexible too, but it has complex policies which results to higher computational requirements. And the last one, we have biometric access control. So this uses unique physiological or behavioral characteristics to verify the identity. So we have several methods. The first one is the fingerprint recognition. I'm sure everyone is aware of this. It uses unique patterns on fingertips. Facial recognition, which analyzes facial features. We also have iris recognition. It uses patterns in the colored part of our eye. Then we have voice recognition, which analyzes vocal characteristics. Retina scan. It maps pattern of blood vessels in the retina. Then we have palm vein recognition. This one uses vein patterns in the palm. So for biometrics access control, the good thing about this is it has high security and it's very difficult to forge. But we also have a downside because of privacy concerns, and it has potential for false positives or negatives, and it requires more specialized equipment.
So as the globe becomes more interconnected and reliant on digital technologies, cybercrime is surging. Based on a report from Forbes.com last year, 2023 saw a notable increase in cyber attacks, resulting in more than 343 million victims in the US alone. It was also reported that 35% of malware was delivered via email, and more than 94% of organizations reported email security incidents. They also stated that the data breach cost about $4.45 million on average. In 2022, compromised businesses' emails accounted for $2.7 billion in losses. And of course, the Philippines is not immune to cyber attacks, just like what happened last year to De La Salle University, PhilHealth, and the House of Representatives. So as cyber threats continue to evolve in its complexity and frequency, organizations must deploy a multifaceted defense strategy to protect their networks and sensitive data. Key components of this strategy include intrusion detection and prevention systems, or IDPS, firewalls, honeypots, honeynets, and padded cell systems, and of course, various access control methods. So that summarizes my report about intrusion detection and prevention systems. I hope you picked up a thing or two about the presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, and you have a great evening.
Hi, sir. Okay na po. Thank you.
Okay, so I appreciate your presentation. Congratulations. The way and how you'll be able to present the topic will be interesting and very clear. So as what you have mentioned, there are different primary types of IDPS. The IDS and the IPS. Okay. So of course the IDS or the intrusion detection system monitors network traffics and system activities for a suspicious behavior and alerts administrator to potential threats. In the other hand, the intrusion prevention system not only detects but also takes proactive measures to block or mitigate malicious activities. Now, we have, of course, network-based intrusion detection system or yung NEEDS na tinatawag natin. NEEDS monitors network traffic for signs of malicious activity. They analyze incoming, outgoing, and internal network traffic in a real time, looking for patterns that match known threats. Okay, we have host-based intrusion detection system. It monitors individual host system for sign of intrusion. They analyze system logs, file integrity and processes to detect unauthorized activities or policy violation. It's particularly effective at detecting insider threats and attacks that bypass network defenses as they provide a detailed view of host level activities. Now, we have, of course, signature-based detection. It relies on predefined patterns or signatures or known threats. We have anomaly-based detection. It identifies deviation from normal behavior. So establishing a baseline of a typical network or system activities. It can detect unusual patterns that may indicate an intrusion. We have hybrid detection approaches. It combines signature-based and anomaly-based methods to enhance detection capabilities. Now, we have deployment considerations for IDPS. We have complementary security tools. We have antivirus and anti-malware solutions because antivirus and anti-malware solutions detect and remove malicious software from system. They use signature-based detection, heuristics, and behavioral analysis to identify and neutralize threats. Now, regular updates and real-time scanning capabilities are essential features that help protect against evolving malware. Of course, we are all aware when it comes to the encryption technologies. It protects data confidentiality by converting plain text into ciphertext using cryptographic algorithms. So encryption is essential for securing data in transit and the rest, and at rest, ensuring that even if data is intercepted or accessed without authorization, it remains unreadable and secure. And we have, of course, security information and event management. We have vulnerability assessment and management tools. We have endpoint detection and response. So, intrusion detection and prevention system, along with other security tools, form the backbone of a robust cybersecurity strategy. So deploying a combination of IDS, IPS, firewalls, antivirus software, encryption, SIEM, vulnerability management, and EDPR solutions, your company can recreate a layered defense that address various aspects of security. And this integrated approach ensures comprehensive protections against a wide range of threats, enhances incident response capabilities, and help maintain compliance with regulatory requirements, continuous monitoring, regular updates, and coordinated efforts across security tools are essential for updating or for adapting to the evolving threat landscape and ensuring the security and resilience of information. So that's it, and congratulations to our presenter.